Men, what unmanly activity do you proudly participate in? I sing personal remixes of popular songs to my pets where I replace words in the song with their name. A lot of the time they're Disney songs. Brah, the way I treat my dog, you'd think I was a third grade girl who got her first puppy for Christmas. Can't wait to get a dog of my own so I can feel like a third grade girl again. Knitting. It's pretty fun. I made half a sock yesterday. I spend a ridiculous amount of time looking up furniture, wall art, etc. Just fascinating about how I'm going to decorate it when I finally get my own place. LOL. I upvoted this because I cannot decorate. I have my own apartment. It is pretty much bare walls and simple. Not because I cannot afford new furniture, art, or decorations, but because I cannot picture it in my mind. I am certain that something would look good on these walls, but I can't imagine or see it in my head. Therefore, I salute you, sir, for being forthright and upfront about decorating. It is not unmanly to decorate, it is just goddamn difficult, and therefore beyond the capacities of most males. Fashion. Even in video games, I spend hours customizing my character's clothes. I would be lying if I said I don't like looking good both in real life and in video games. I mean, I'd say looking good is manly, but spending time looking good is unmanly. Or whatever. I don't know how many people actually believe that, but it is a stereotype, I think. Pedicures. I take my wife to get a manicure pedicure, and for an extra $30, I get a foot soak with massage, nails trimmed, and the cracked calluses ground down to manageable. I spend 100% of my free time in hiking boots or flip-flops, gnarly heels being the result. No shame in my game. Take care of your feet, lads. I know an Italian dude who looks and sounds like he could be straight out of Tony Soprano's crew who gets mani-pedis. His wife has been begging him for years to go together, but that's his special place, and he keeps it a secret from her because he doesn't want her to ruin it. It's his me time. Sometimes my daughters get new nail polish and they want to see how it looks on an actual nail before committing it to their own. That's when they come to me asking if they can use me as their test palette. It's not uncommon for me to go around the house with glittery purple, green, pink, etc. nails. Walking around with painted nails equals most unmanly thing for me. Showing my daughters how a man should treat and take care of the woman in his life equals the most manly thing I could ever do. Oh yeah, this is how to protect them from abusers by showing them what good men are really like. I don't think that's unmanly at all. That's just called being amazing. Good job on being an awesome father. Drinking girly drinks. They're delicious. I have a friend who's into weightlifting, massive beard, tattoos, and generally pretty manly looking. His drink of choice is amaretto and cranberry juice. I usually like a Guinness or a whiskey. Whenever we've gone to a bar and ordered drinks, the barman maid has always thought the cranberry one is for me. Admittedly, it's fairly tasty. According to society, apparently crying. I have cried twice in my life. Once when I was 7 and I was hit by a school bus, and then again when I heard that Lil Sebastian passed. We as a society always encourage men to show their softer sides, until they actually show it. I like cute things more than a lot of girls I know. I'm a big sucker for cute things as well. Same, I baby talk my cats every time I see them. Playing and doing girly things with my daughter. She's 4 and I want to be pretty interactive and engaged with her. Sometimes that means playing tea party or painting our nails, as in both of us. No problem. What a dad. That's not being unmanly, that's being an epic father. Props to that guy. Being an epic father is most badass, awesome, greatest dad, kick-ass, best thing for her. Few things in this world are more manly than being an awesome dad. I moisturize. My skin is very dry and gets itchy. I scratch, make it sore, which then makes it itchy, so I scratch. Moisturizing stops this cycle. I've been doing it since I was 18. I'm now mid-30s and always get mistaken for the youngest of my friends, while I'm the oldest by quite a margin. Nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. We're not cavemen. Unabashed love for kittens. Loving animals is very manly. I would never date a dude who doesn't like animals. Agreed that loving animals is very manly. Hugging my kids, apologizing to them when I'm wrong, "Sorry, I accused you of making a mess outside. I just learned it was the neighbor's kid." And showing them it's okay to have and express feelings. Yes, Daddy can get very teary-eyed too when watching a sad movie. Also, as an extension of apologizing for having done wrong, being able to back down. When in an argument and find out you're wrong, it's not weak to say, "I didn't know that. Sorry, I was wrong." Learning from these experiences has much more worth than doubling down to protect your own ego. You're just raising your children correctly. I now realize how badly my dad represented how I should be a man. Keep it up. Being a grown man means having grown up to be an adult who owns their mistakes and learns from them, not being a child insisting to be right when you know you're wrong. Pissing while sitting. I remember one time my Mexican uncle sat down piss-ass drunk. He had the intention of taking a number 2, but that only took a piss, sitting down. And he started crying, saying he wasn't a woman. I've never understood men's aversion to sitting down. Maybe I'm just lazy, but sitting down at home while checking stuff on the phone is always nice and relaxing. Like a mini 2-minute break. What's girly about that? Writing long romantic messages in Valentine's, Christmas, birthday cards for my girlfriend. I draw the hearts in pink Sharpie sometimes too. Heck yes, just did that for my girlfriend's card. Ran out of room and had to use a sticky note to finish. This is the way. Only show our emotions 4 or 5 times a year to make it count. Gardening. It's great being able to grow things from just seeds. Never understood this. Gardening is basically small-scale, multi-species plant farming. Most farmers are manly men. I never understood the feminine thought applied to gardening. Should be genderless, clearly, as everyone should want to grow everything. I think maybe it has to do with scale, just like in other professions. Farming, professor, doctor, masculine. Gardening, teacher, nurse, feminine. I disagree with the mindset, of course, as gender should not be assigned to roles that a person is capable of performing, but this might help a bit with insight on it. Talking to women about feelings and emotions. It's odd. At every barbecue or social, the men and women will naturally divide, and I always gravitate toward the women because I have better conversations with them. Then there will inevitably come a point where one of the guys comes to corral me back to the guy's corner because I'm assuming it made one of the boyfriends uncomfortable. Like it's weird that I'm helping in the kitchen. I wish my social circle were a little more modern. Yeah, all about open-mindedness. Also, I feel that most of my friends are actually girls, most of which aren't straight, and it's a lot nicer to have a conversation with them rather than some of my male friends. Don't know if it counts as an activity, but beauty care, like skin and hair care. I go full-on Bateman. Have multiple face masks, skin creams, and hair products. Started as a way to bond with my sisters, ended up being something that centers me in the mornings and a comfortable ritual a couple of times a night. My mom used to make my brothers join her and I for face mask night. They would complain, as boys do, but they never said no or didn't do it. As adults, they join their wives when they do their mud masks and stuff. Legit, 100% the same. Used to think it was really feminine, translate gay, but then was like, sod it. Self-care is important, and being comfortable enough with your own masculinity is definitely a trait girls like. So bring on the ice pack for puffy eyes and the deep pore cleanser lotions, because smooth skin shouldn't be reserved for ladies. I knit. I can make 2 dishcloths in a day. I also pride myself on my frozen cocktails, margaritas, pina coladas, strawberry daiquiris, and my personal favorite, the Miami Vice. Nice! Any tips for making frozen cocktails? Something I discovered recently. If you add about a teaspoon of xanthan gum to your blender, it helps make the mix smoother and keeps it from separating right away. Depending on the cocktail you're making, you can replace the ice with frozen fruit so it doesn't get watery on you. Occasionally, I'll shave my armpits and/or legs. I'm sure it looks a little strange because I have a beard, but it makes me feel so much cleaner. I drink hot cocoa sometimes at the bar when everyone is having a beer. That, or I take a girly cocktail. I don't care. I don't like beer, and I do like cocoa or girly cocktails. You can always do hot chocolate with a shot of alcohol, too. Anything from whiskey, to Fireball, to coconut rum, to marshmallow, whipped cream, or pumpkin spice vodka. The worldwide of warm cocktails is what gets me through the dark winter months. Animal Crossing. It's fun and relaxing. If Danny Trejo can play Animal Crossing, so can we. Therapy. Everyone needs a little bit of therapy. Even if you're perfectly fine, everyone needs someone to talk to. There is another word for that. It's socializing. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if you talk to your closest friends about your problems consistently, you're going to burn them out eventually. And honestly, I think a therapist's unbiased opinion is always useful because you get to see another view. If you can ask your friend for a different view, but if you know them really well, you already know their opinion on certain topics. I don't know, I just think it's healthier to have a therapist rather than relying on your friends all the time. Listening to Taylor Swift. I had a friend tell me that was wussy and that he wouldn't be friends with anyone who listened to her. So I listened to what he said and acted accordingly by ending the friendship. This is hilarious. My boyfriend is a construction worker and he and his crew sing Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish to each other all around the job site. Raising a child. I was a single father. I still am, I guess, but my daughter is 24 now and works in another state, so not so much anymore. I honestly never felt too emasculated about it, but there were odd moments. Appropriately enough, considering today's date, I was often congratulated on Mother's Day. One female friend of mine even said, "You're like a mom with a penis." I thought that was pretty funny. My dad was a typical deadbeat dad, so I tell my mom Happy Father's Day. I once worked with a guy whose wife ran out on him, leaving him to raise 2 daughters alone. He did a great job, and it always brought a smile to my face when he dropped by asking for Girl Scout cookie orders. Yes, I ordered them every time. I'll cry during emotional scenes of TV shows, movies. Absolutely. I'm an adult man with a full beard and all that, and I wept manly tears when I recently rewatched Avatar, The Last Airbender, the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode, Iroh's Tale. You know the scene. Baths. For real. Bath bombs rule. My favorite one turns the water black and sparkly and smells like peppermint. Resting my hands on my own hips. Oh, the horror. That's not girly. If you watch sports, everyone does that. It's them ascertaining dominance in the field. I do it as well when playing soccer when a play is finished. Yes, but can you rest your hands on your hips, and then you can rest your hands on your hips with the absolute sass and intent of a disappointed mother?